Beautiful face. I know that it's something many of you will find very exciting, but the fact that we're going to be announcing a name for this young guy is very exciting, and also the fact that we're actually giving everyone a chance to take part in it. Let me just explain a little bit around that. This male will leave this area when he's about 2 years old, go somewhere else. We don't even know where he's going to go. So this is a name that we will use while he's around, while we can see him, and you could be the one that gets to choose it. Let's just send those names in to us the normal way that we communicate. Hashtag Safari Live to tweet, questions at WildEarthTV if you want to email. Please remember that with the name suggestion, if there is a meaning to it, then meaning is important. If it is in another language than English, well, whatever language really, the meaning of the name is very important. And also please give us your name and where you're from, because remember, at the fireside chat at the end of drive on Sunday, on Mother's Day, we'll be revealing not only the name of the leopard, what it means, but also who was the person that came up with it. So very, very sort of fun experience here for all of us to be part of, but how lovely to see this. Look, Colleen, so glad you could be here for this beautiful morning. Look at that. Oh, I have to pinch myself sometimes when I sit at places like this. Remind myself that it's not a dream, that it's just happening right now as we speak. Colleen, you're just wondering what would happen if they bumped into Djuma, or Q for that matter. Very interesting, actually. I mean, keep in mind, those are still young leopard, the two males we're talking about, Djuma or Q. They would be at least half brothers, because Shadow has got a different father than Mvula. I think, if I remember correctly, back then it was Mafufunyan who was still the dominant male around here. Big male leopard. He was eventually pushed out by Mvula. But they have the same mother. Now, they don't necessarily know that. I don't know, maybe they do. I mean, maybe they can see each other, just, maybe they can recognize each other in their spots. But, Colleen, no, it's most likely that they will just try and avoid each other as call it the first prize. If they were to bump into each other, I would think that these two would rather avoid. There's the perfect case in point right in front of us. I would have not expected to see them here. Their tracks yesterday, we saw her tracks far to the sort of southwest from here, all the way towards Aratuza airstrip, almost Aratuza access road, and the tracks were heading in the opposite direction from where these guys are. There were also other tracks in this area of a male yesterday and another female who we presume to be Karula. So still not impossible that there might be another leopard or two leopards within the close proximity here, but that you won't know until it happens. These guys are like shadows and ghosts in the bush sometimes. Well, how spoilt are we today? Not only are we sitting here with two leopard, let's just see what happens here. Just about to go and join HT for another surprise. Let's just see what these two are getting up to. Oh, beautiful when they move, and especially with the females, you get that sense of cat even more so than with the male leopard, just because they're a little bit sleeker, a little bit slimmer. To see that young one, maybe he's going to hunt mum a little bit. His tail is twitching like he's in a playful mood. Let's see. Oh, look at that. I thought for a second he's gonna hunt mum. Beautiful young guy, this. Certainly looks like mum a little bit. He's got to wriggle his way through those twigs and branches there. Awesome. Morning, Lex, please pull in.
Folks, this is a very, very interesting situation here. Goodness me, we are absolutely spoilt for choice at the moment. This is incredible. We are sitting here with Q, and he has just, oh goodness me, it's hard, my excitement's so high at the moment. This hyena just turned up to get a little bit of carcass, and the hyena, just track down to the left please, VM. I'm sorry folks, I'm directing VM here. There's a hyena just walking off with part of that kudu, and definitely scavenged a fantastic morsel there, and is one happy hyena. But up our tree we have the man of the moment, and that is Q, who the story just unfolds even more. We all said that he wouldn't be able to take it up the tree. Well, he hasn't taken the carcass up the tree, that's for sure. He's taken the remnants of it up there, but overnight that kudu that he actually brought down yesterday has been devoured by hyenas, and he's been hanging around, and he waited and he waited and he waited for the right opportunity when the hyenas' bellies were too full, and he sure enough came back and got the remainder of his carcass. I'm just going to reposition ourselves here to get that branch out of the way for VM, because it is quite a beautiful shot. Now, he hasn't chosen a huge tree, I must admit. He's chosen a tree that was probably just the best access for him. I also don't want to go right underneath him, of course. But it's okay, my boy. It's okay, buddy. It's okay, my boy. Can you see there, V? I know you've got a branch right across in front of you, but I can't go any closer, folks, because it's at risk. But he's up just treated himself by a hyena that walked onto him, and as I said, it's not an incredibly huge tree. It's not a very comfortable tree either. But he has taken the remainder of his kudu carcass up this tree. And boy, you got to hand it to him, eh? He's really tried to hold on to this. I can only imagine, sorry, what happened at this carcass last night. It must have been like a Shakespeare drama. It was there was Q, he had the kill, and the hyenas turned up and probably pushed him off, and then they've had their belly full, and then we went down to see them. We saw half of their carcass, the carcass get dragged into the den. We've come up to where the carcass was. We got the tip off from Lex and Texan to come up, and sure enough, here we find Q with the remainder of the carcass up the tree. It's quite an extraordinary story, guys. Oh, hang on a second. Second thought there. They're really the little telltale sign for me. Telltale. Look at that. There's a little funny joke for you guys. Excuse the pun. Is that that little landing strip? Those parallel four or five dots that Brent and I had a discussion about the other day. It's one of the distinctive markings that you can't always see it, of course, when you're looking at Q, but when you do see it, you know that it's him. It's an absolutely fantastic story that's unfolding here over our heads. We've got vultures flying. We've got, what else can we see? Kites. We saw a battle air eagle flying over before. It's just fantastic. Scavengers aplenty. And how spoilt are we, folks? Now we've got not just one leopard, but we've got 3 leopards here on Wild Safari Live. We've got Shadow and her cub. We've got our beautiful boy Q here. I don't know what to do. Let's switch back to Pete and see what he's up to, because guess what? There's more leopard action.
Look at that, just walking along the log there. Shadow on the right hand side there, the young one following along. Just going to go around a little bit. We've got another vehicle with us as well, just to give them a window. Oh, this is stunning. I'll try and get in front of them a little bit. Yo. No, they're not hunting, but they sort of, oh, they are hunting. Guys, look at this. There's some kudus right in front of us. Let me just go a little bit forward and so we can get a view of both of them. There are the kudus. Ah, there's the alarm call now. Unlike you, we've just been with as well, without a hyena taking some food there. He actually killed a young, well, a grown but young kudu female yesterday. Now he's a male, a bit bigger as well. This would be a bit big for her or the cub. I mean, the cub is still too young. In fact, they're actually almost avoiding the kudu. Look at that, walking around. Actually turned 90 degrees to the way they were heading. This is just... Look at the behavior of the kudu there. Let's just have a look at this quickly. Very alert. Look at the ears, the posture, the whole body language is saying that there's something in the grass. You need to keep an eye out on them. Now, the kudus won't be too concerned. They would even see that this leopard is not a very big leopard, and I think for that reason they would rather keep an eye on the leopard. You know, better you know where it is than you don't know. Anna Marie, hello. Anna Marie, you were just wondering now if we think that young leopard might have made a kill. You know, cats are amazing, and he's only about 7 going on 8 months old. In fact, if someone could confirm the exact age for me, those of you that know these leopards very well, that would be great. But yeah, I would say there's a chance that he's made a kill. Look at her posture, huh? Very alert, very aware, keeping an eye on the leopard. That's what she's doing at the moment. So if you're ever driving in the bush and suddenly see a kudu with that kind of posture, I mean, you can see that this is not a kudu just busy sort of looking for breakfast. You can see that there's an awareness and alertness there. And if you see that, stop and look around, because if the kudu looks like that, she's seen something. We now know it's a leopard, obviously, because we're here, but always look at other information as well. Don't just drive around looking for a leopard. Listen to the birds, look at the animals, look at their body language, you know. Read the sort of newspaper, listen to the radio, that kind of thing. You know, tune yourself into all the information available. That's what good tracking, and that's what being in the bush is about. And really, I think it's not impossible that that young leopard would have caught perhaps a little mouse or a little bird or things like that. You know, Mum would have brought him something to play with as well. So I'm talking loud here. I'm very excited to see these leopards. We've got another vehicle next to us, Lex S, good friend of mine, one of my heroes as well, great guy. He's got some guests here. That's amazing. Can't believe this. How spoilt are we? What is that? That looks like an impala. Yep. And they've eaten most of it as well. I know Stefan and Scott and Brent were tracking this area yesterday, and they said there were fresh tracks. Stefan was explaining to me, he says it was so fresh. He was actually watching an ant line, drawing its little line through the tracks that they were following. Must have been close to this area. Because by the looks of this, I would guess that this kill was made probably night before last, or yesterday morning, but definitely not longer ago than that, because they've eaten quite a bit of it. Yo, what a morning. Different leopard on kills, hyenas. you would think we're in Sabi Sands, one of the greatest game reserves in the world for seeing big African wildlife. In fact, we know we are. Some of the best leopard viewing in the world, and we are really experiencing that today. Kathy, well noticed there the cub's eyes. You think it's quite light colored. Yeah, I mean leopards don't all have exactly the same eyes. They can go from a sort of a yellow to a green. I'm trying to remember, Mvula for instance has got particularly beautiful color eyes. Get them in an orange almost as well. It can vary quite a bit. I didn't particularly notice this cub's eyes being very light. Then again, I've also just been very excited about seeing them. I mean, I would have seeing them once the other day, I already felt very lucky. Seeing them twice like this, not only seeing them, but up in a tree, beautiful, with a kill sort of earlier, the way we spotted them sitting next to the road. Let's go have a quick look here. Kathy, yeah, he's got pretty light eyes. Might also be the light this morning. We've got sort of overcast, hazy conditions, and that might also play a role. I'm going to sit here for a little bit more, and then I want to go to the other side, get us on the other side from the leopard also for the light. Excuse me. You can see this young guy, very alert, looking around. Excuse me. I have a frog in my throat, it seems. He's eating again now. This young age, he's learning. Every day is a new adventure for him, and he's learned by now at least. When you've got a kill and you're up in a tree, you should be safe, but never forget, there could be a hyena around, could be lion around, could be other leopard around, so stay alert, stay aware.
I just wanted to get a couple of shots in that position that he was in. He had his tail facing, his spinal column facing directly at us. He's come down the tree. He had a lovely morsel of meat over here. Here comes a hyena again. Q can't see it. There's a hyena coming to the right. Q's looking the other way. Hyena coming from the right of the screen. Here he comes. Here he comes. Hiding. Hiding. Lying really, really low. Hyena's flanking around the other side. Hyena has probably seen him. And now there could be some interaction. You've got Q sitting there. You've got a hyena coming in for a tasty little morsel. Q could go up this tree again. This is incredible, folks. Interesting how that hyena just didn't even chase him off or approach him. Is more interested in finding some little morsels of food. He knows he's got that kill up a tree and there's nothing he can really do about that. But the hyena's fantastic sense of smell is allowing him to find potentially more little titbits, because it must have been a bit of a frenzy here last night when they came across that carcass. Hyena's moving off. Hyena's coming back now. Q's sitting stationary. About probably 10 meters, 15 meters in front of Q. The hyena's foraging, finding small morsels of food about 30 feet in front of him. He's keeping a close eye. Hyena's coming a little bit closer. You can just pan across to the side there, VM, and show everyone where that hyena is. He's just foraging through there. There he is. He's coming around behind Q now. The interesting thing is he can pick up the scent that's up in the tree, but he can't find any more morsels of food. He's wandering off again, but Q knows that he's going to be around. That hyena is going to be coming around constantly, and yeah, it can't be the most relaxing situation for our boy here, but at the same time it's perfectly natural and perfectly normal. This is exactly what happens in the wild. This is raw and real and natural, and every animal that benefits out of this this kill that Q had is part of that food chain, is part of that very, very important ecosystem.
Well, one exciting leopard sighting to another exciting leopard sighting. Couldn't have hoped for more than one of these two things to happen today. To have so many choices is great. I believe that hyena has been trying to get a bit of food, even if it's just a little snack here and there, getting bits and pieces. This is still the young cub up there, currently nameless. That'll change by Sunday. And then while he's eating, which is not really that much food left on that most of that impala has been eaten, but he's up in the tree, and his mother, Shadow, she's just taking it easy down here on the right hand side. There you can see her. Very relaxed, not too concerned, but obviously aware to her surroundings. I mean, anything might walk in here, like we just seen over with Q. It'll be kept pretty busy with all that kudu meat in the area from Q's kills, so I don't think they have to be too worried about hyenas, but you never know. Always have to be alert, always have to be aware. That's actually a great question, Judy. Never really thought about it that way around. You are an area or a territory because of the high density of leopard in the area like Sabi Sands, as opposed to one that's maybe in an area where there's not many leopard. And that's quite an interesting way of thinking about it. Like Sabi Sands, as opposed to one that's maybe in an area where there's not many leopard. And that's quite an interesting way of thinking about it.
Space moving, we're near Sandy Fence, come in.
1. Oops, sorry guys.
6.
Apologies for that radio, we're still trying to understand that one. I must just talk to them quickly. It's a game drive calling for it. Judy, we're going to get back to that question in a second. Standing by, we are inside the Schlatin now. If you can find the tracks where they turn off, just follow them into the north. Oh, he's coming down. Catrobactics, I think it's called. Gonna have to wedge himself a little bit. Beautiful. Do you know, as that question had me thinking, actually. In a way, it's sort of like saying, my apologies for the radio beeping, but we have to get the other guys help to get in here as well. They help us. This is the great part about working together. It enhances all of our chances to find great wildlife. Let's just see, maybe there's a little bit of a play coming up. He might be stalking his mum. This could be beautiful to see. He's at that age where he's practicing hunting, and the best one to practice it with would often be his mother. So let's see what happens here when he comes closer to her. Oh, beautiful. She's looking around again, just making sure there's nothing to be worried about. He's looking the other way. Oh, this is so stunning. Mother and cub together. Look at the tail. I was touching her. Now there's another great sign of just how animals work together, more specifically how her mother cares for her cub. She let him eat first, and now she's heading up there, I presume, to go and eat herself. But only after he's had what he's wanted to eat. Beautiful. What a special window we're getting into the lives of leopard in the Lowveld. She was sniffing at the base of the tree there, presumably one or two little pieces of bone or skin that dropped down. She's looking, I think she's going to go up as well to get a bite or two. Okay, not. She's still smelling. Yep, looks like she's going to climb. Now she'll be quick about it. It'll probably be one or two jumps and she'll be there. Watch. Oh, magic. Just as well that mum's up there now, because that carcass, or what's remaining of it, is sort of rather precariously balanced there. The youngster not quite having the experience yet of how to wedge the carcass in properly, so it could have fallen down, but I think she's going to obviously eat something, but also make sure that it stays up there.
There comes a hyena.
Oh, speaking of which, well spotted, Andrew. Look at that. Hyena coming in. Now, we've spoken about this quite a bit. All this apex predator activity. Leopard, and the fact that there's two male leopard around as well. And hyenas with their den right in the middle of Djuma. Therefore, we're getting lots of, especially hyena and other predator interaction. Look at that. Leopard up in the tree. Hyena underneath. And leopard saying, ha, knowing that he's fine up there. Hyenas aren't very good at climbing trees. In fact, they're really bad at it. So the leopard knows that she's fine. The cub is just off to the right. We can't see him at the moment, but again, he's quick enough to avoid the hyena. And the hyena's not here to eat a leopard. The hyena's here to eat food. So the cub should be fine. More than fast enough by now as well to avoid the hyena, but nonetheless. Whoa, whoa, you see, look at that. Whoa. Amazing. You see what I meant with the cub not wedging that kill? The hyena can just about reach that skin, so she might actually pull that down. There we go. Oh, it's going to get it soon. This is amazing. We just had the question a couple of drives ago, how high can a hyena jump? And that's about your answer there. But that's sort of the length of the body up from the ground. Not very good at jumping. and as we saw, not very good at landing on his feet either. You know, cats can land on their feet every time, but it seems hyenas can land sort of anywhere. Oh, got it. Payoff. Amazing. There's another hyena as well, 2 hyenas now. Now we're going to have them competing. Let me try and turn a little bit. See if we can't get a better view. Obviously, this is what's so brilliant about live safaris. You really don't know what's going to happen next. But the good news as well, these leopard have had a good feed by now. It looks like almost 2 days on that carcass if I had to guess it. So they're full, not too much food lost there. Amazing. There's the youngster. I've actually lost view of where the young cub is, but he's just off here somewhere to the right. And as I said, the hyenas came for the food. Their attention is on that. Shadow is safe up in the tree. The hyena looking around at the bottom. This is the second hyena that arrived, so didn't get any of that food. And in fact, the one that took the food just took it, and as far as I can see, walked away, maybe even taking it back to the den. So we'll follow that story as well, maybe towards the end of drive if we can, see if this remains of the kill from Shadow and a cub have ended up with a hyena den.
I would say it's 300 meters.
Oh, what a morning. Now I'm starting to think the same thing. Quite a few of you on the vehicle here just wondering, where is that cub? Let me give a quick update on the game drives. I actually switched my radio off, but we have to help them. Guys, I'm going to turn my radio off again just now, but just the update, I'm just noticing now, I think we're not too far from Aubrey's Road. So you can try and get us from Aubrey's Road side as well, and we will be to the west. Not a bad morning. Alex, did you keep an eye on the youngster? He was there. Now he's gone. I'm sure he's just gone off a little bit to avoid the hyenas. I know many of you are concerned, but he is fine. You'd hear a lot of noise if he wasn't. There's the spotted hyena. Shadow up in the tree. We will find this youngster feed just now, but he's just making sure the hyenas don't see him. He's excellent. Very well versed in avoiding the attention of other predators. Don't worry about that. He's fine. Very happy vehicle next to us. Lex and his guests are very keen photographers. And I think when that jumping was going on, I actually saw your vehicle move back with a recoil from all the shutters going. It sounded like sort of heavy artillery. Guys, that's one of the joys for me in game drives like this, is to sit at these stunning sightings and just see the faces of the other guests here as well. Just big smiles, happy people. One of the sort of side joys of safaris. Alright guys, I can hear a few of you getting worried in the back here. Let's just try and find that cub for you so you don't have to worry, but I saw him just flashing off to the side, and keep in mind his key objective at the moment will be not to be seen by these hyena, which would then spin through to us not seeing him, but he's just somewhere here. Let's try and... Andrew, you spotted the hyena first, you were quick about it. Can you see him perhaps? Sorry guys, I don't want to move around too much just with the other vehicle here, but let's try and get ourselves up to a high point here. Let's see, where is he? Promise you he's fine though, don't be concerned, but he's somewhere just here, just low down, hiding himself. We are sitting with a very sensitive sighting, and we've still got the one hyena under the tree. Not that it's dangerous, but there's the hyena still. There's Shadow up in the tree, and we also have a vehicle with us, so I don't want to move around unnecessarily at the moment, but we will do our best to try and find that youngster again just now. But he's fine, I promise you. He's just making sure he doesn't get seen. he doesn't get spotted, so to speak, by the spotted hyena. Legs? Is that a game drive coming?
Yes.
I think we're close to Aubrey's, huh?
I think we are.
Yeah, I think it's probably just here.
Yes.
So maybe they just come north on Aubrey's. Alright guys, just trying to get another game drive vehicle that's looking for us. We're in the middle of the bush here. We were very lucky, very, very lucky to have found this leopard in the beginning next to the road. To get the information, Mike actually, for those of you that know the people around here, Mike from Djuma found him and let us know via Brent. So the bush telegraph this morning worked incredibly well. All kinds of technology and social interactions and friendship actually getting us into this sighting. Very lucky that we could follow them. Otherwise, we wouldn't have even known about this. This would have come and gone without us even knowing about it. So we're just trying to help another game drive vehicle to come and share in this beautiful sighting as well. I know there's still some concern. I can feel a few of you being worried. I know that we've lost a few leopard even in the recent times to hyena. Keep in mind with Karula's case, it was a tiny cub still, or a young cub. This young male, which is yet to have a name, keep in mind Sunday at the fireside chat we're going to announce it. You can see on Facebook as well we're mentioning you some questions that we'd like to get from you about a few subjects. But this young male, he's 7 months and 1 week old. And unlike human babies, these guys are quite active from young. 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. He's got a lot of experience by now. He knows how to hide. He's fast enough. He's quick enough. So even though we can't see him, he'll be fine. We will find him for you before the end of drive. So if you want to be 100% sure that he's fine, stay with us a bit longer. You know what, on days like this, I sometimes have almost like a sensory overload. Just in terms of how amazing it is. And I know I say this often, but unbelievable to think. We're sitting in the middle of the bush, Combretum thickets and a couple of marula trees around us. And there's this beautiful story, this great drama almost, unfolding around us. And we're just so privileged to be able to sit right in the middle of it. And that's what's amazing about this area. Djuma, Sabi Sands, it's not just that you see the leopard, that you see the hyena, but it's the fact that they are so used to our presence, the cohabituation, the coexistence of our different species here at such a sort of peaceful level, if you want, that these guys can do whatever they were doing, whether we were here or not, would have made no difference. What Shadow was doing, what a cub was doing, what these hyenas were doing, all this behavior would have happened exactly the same, even if we were here. Bless you, Andrew.
Thank you.
So to not only be able to find them and see them, and not only have them relaxed enough that we can get close to them, but to have them so relaxed that their behavior is the same as if we weren't here. That really is the magic of this. You get to get a window into the daily lives of these animals. And that's priceless. Well, I think let's just see what's going on over at HT's side. He's also got some activity with the leopard, and we'll get back here again shortly to see what the hyena and the leopard get up to over here.
Beautiful markings on this boy, hey, look at him. That magnificent coat. And we're still with Q. We're just sitting here with him. He's had a few little altercations with hyenas, but it hasn't been anything dramatic. He went up a tree once and he's back down again. The hyenas are sort of periodically coming back and checking for any morsels that have been left over or that they've missed. They're constantly getting the scent of the remainder of the carcass as well in that he's put up in the tree. So quite frustrating for hyenas sometimes, I'm sure, but our friend here, Q, has got a very full belly, is trying to digest what he can and get a little bit of rest from from these hyenas. So it's all action-packed here. What an incredible story. So if you've just joined us, welcome aboard, and just a little recap of what happened yesterday and tonight. Yesterday and last night. I think Peter and Steph and Scotty found Q, and that was all.
Nick, do you mind if I go in front? Great, guys. Quick update from HT, but this female's just jumped down. The leopard has left. Thank you very much, very polite of Lex saying we can go ahead there. And let's just see, maybe she oh, she's right here, sorry. Just want to see if she maybe takes us to the youngster. For him to see as well. I'm sure she's going to find him now. He's just gone off in that direction. And this could be a fun game. It's called Spot the Young Leopard. She's looking for him. She's going to call just now. The hyenas have left. Maybe she's wondering as well, where's my little boy? What's he up to? Again, I can feel a few of you getting more worried. What happened? What happened to that youngster? I'm still convinced he's fine. We just can't see him. He's hiding. We'll have to try and spot him. But what a view of the shadow. This is one of the most beautiful settings I've ever seen her in. You can see that autumn background, the browns and the reds starting to come through a little bit. She's sitting on a dead marula log. Perfect vantage point. There's our hyena back at the tree again. Oh, it's all happening. All happening right here. Wild Safari Live, as good as it can get. Better than one could hope for. There she's calling. That's her first call for him. Let's see if he listens. Yeah, lots of attention being paid. You can see the ears are listening in all directions. Look at how they're moving around like radars. There she's calling again. Still haven't seen him. She'll respond to her. There is still a hyena in the area, so not all the danger is gone. I wonder what's going to happen. Are we going to be in for another surprise this morning? Perhaps a drama. Although I'm inclined to think that we're going to be smiling, maybe a little bit relieved just now when we see them together. But at the moment, I don't know where he's hiding. I don't think she knows either, which is why she's looking, why she's calling. She's looking at the hyena now. Leaving from the hyena there. I wonder where this youngster is. Yeah, she's keeping an eye on the hyena. That's why she's moving away. Keep in mind, mind, the main focus of the hyenas. They're not here to hunt leopard or to kill a young cub or eliminate competition. They were here for the food. If you want to just put you at ease, I wouldn't be worried too much. I mean, anything can happen, that we all know. But I'm sure that youngsters somewhere maybe just snuck away a bit further. Let's see, there's a couple of bigger trees that direction. Maybe they've gone there. Maybe watch this branch. Thank you. Just taking this footpath. There's the two hyenas. Just to show you, they're back again. Just picking up the last little snippets and bits and pieces that might have been dropped at that carcass. Guys, as much as I want to stay with the hyena, I do want to stay with this leopard. I want to follow her. Now, leopard, as we all know, can disappear in the blink of an eye. In fact, I've almost lost her, but there, I've just got a glimpse of her. And we've got the cub. There he is. Great. Guys, you can breathe again. For those of you who were getting a little bit blue in the face from concern, just a deep breath. Cub's fine, mum's fine. They've got a belly full of impala. The hyenas have eaten it. That carcass story is gone. They've got the rest of the day to be happy cats, sleep off a full belly. We're going to stay with them and see where they end up. It would be great if we could see them again this afternoon. But just look at that. Mother and cub heading down a little footpath here. Let's hope, let's hope. Up ahead here, there's a beautiful big tree and some dead logs, the kind of stuff that the leopard would love to play on, and I know any photographer would be happy to give his back teeth for to see a leopard on those branches. They might just walk past, but a young leopard like that, they like to play as well, and I think we're going to be in for yet another little treat here. Let's see what happens. Perhaps not, perhaps they're going to walk past. This is like a little jungle gym for leopard. Okay, they're still moving. Just want to stick with them. Thought they might settle down here. This would have been a nice, safe place for them. Lots of tree to climb into. But I think they also want to perhaps put a little bit more distance between themselves and the area that the kill was in, because obviously those smells will stick around and maybe draw the attention of other predators still, even though the food is left or the food is gone. So they're going into some thick stuff ahead here. We'll try and stick with him. I think we're not too far from Sandy Patch now. Let's see. Oh, hold on, big hole. Hold on, hold on. There you go, the leopard. There they're going. We're going to try and get around this. Catch up to them again. That's alright. Alright, hold on. Andrew, avoid that. That's buffalo thorn. That's also buffalo thorn. This is one of the great extra uses of that lovely walking stick HD gave me. Okay. Andrew, just avoid the left, and then you avoid this on the right. It's got something. Okay, you good? Okay, guys. All right, think we're through. All right, let's find the leopard again. Awesome, thanks HD. You just helped me get through that bush with that stick you brought me. They should be somewhere just here. Now this is the type of terrain that leopard can just disappear in like that, but let's see if we can find them. Watch out, Andrew. Buffalo thorn on the left. Somewhere just here, just here. Eyes wide open. Legs, my last visual was in towards the right into these quarries. There we go. Brilliant. Lex, I've got them this side again. Just cut through to Sandy Patch and then take a little road going up to Frankel Dam. Nice. Where am I going? Hold on a second. We've got them, but we can't follow through where they've gone, so we'll just go around. There's a little road there, so I'm sure. Ah, great. There's another vehicle, Henry. One of the private lodges. I think they've got them as well, so we're good. There are the Impala. The left-hand side that we're not going to stop for now. That's the herd, almost certainly the herd that they would have caught that one Impala they were eating from. As I said, my estimate would be night before last, somewhere during the course of the night. Maybe yesterday morning early. There's an alarm call. I'll show you quickly. Look at the posture. We talked about it earlier with the kudu. There go the leopard. Ooh, difficult terrain. This just gets trickier and trickier, but I don't know if you can even see that. You can probably just see the little spots. I'm going to walk through there you go. Look at that for camouflage. Alright, now it's been a couple of years since I went into this particular patch, but I've been in there a few times. It is thick. Whew. So many different aspects to this. All of them great, all of them fun. It really does bring the sense of adventure to the foreground when you're doing this, following two beautiful leopard, thick bush, different animal species around. But this is what it looks like. This is the terrain. Perfect place for two leopard to hide in. Not the easiest of places to stay with them. Elephants have been very active here as well over the last while. That's where you can see all the pushed over branches, and they've all become effectively roadblocks for us. Last place we saw them was just going through there in that direction. So there we go, I've got a tail. I'm going to give a little window here just to see them again, and also just to make sure that everyone has seen the young one nicely. That's the, who's that now? That's Mum, that's Shadow, and behind her, following there, he's coming. The young man with no name. Yet.
That's quite a big smile.
Yeah, that's a good smile, guys. You know, this is, when you dream about things, this is the kind of stuff you dream about. At least in my case. Some people want to be an astronaut or a space traveler or a painter or all these things, fireman, you know, all these things people think of. Since I was a young boy, I've dreamt about seeing big game like this in wild areas like this. So I've got a big smile. There I just see the white tip of a tail again. This is very tricky terrain, as I said. We are going to try and stay with them. We are going to try and see where they end up. But for now, we're not going to see too much. So I think join HG again. We've had a great morning. He has as well. And we'll see you back here in a bit.
Well, it's all happening this morning, folks. Unbelievable leopard action. At the moment, our boy's a little bit quiet. He's flat. He's just sitting up. If you want to just have a look at him now, but he's just sat up because he thought he might have heard hyena coming, I think. We have had another vehicle arrive. He's gone back down flat again. So he's pretty comfortable at the moment, but still trying to digest that massive amount of food that he ingested last night. And just trying to protect that little bit of food that he has left up in the tree. It's not much. It'd be enough for him to have a bit more of a chow down on later on. But sometimes I like to think with leopard that they just like to show the hyena that they can do that, even if there's nothing left on the carcass. That's my own little thing that I like to think, that a leopard just go, right, well, can't do this, I'm going to take it up the tree. It's quite incredible what they can do, but there's no way he would have gotten that carcass that that animal that he killed last night up that tree. As we mentioned a few times before, but if you've just joined us, probably 3 to 4 times his body weight, and he would never be able to get that up a tree. But the most important thing is he is still around and we're still with him, and he's sitting up, just keeping his ears open for any hyena that come back. One of the things I have noticed him doing as well is when he has been watching just for out of a hyena, whiteback vultures have been flying overhead, and he's been looking up and snarling at them and having a bit of a sort of vocalization at them, which is quite interesting to watch. Leopard, most predators, and all predators actually have got no tolerance for vultures whatsoever, and even though they're just flying overhead, he had a bit of a snarl in the sky at them. But vultures play a huge role in the ecosystem as well, so really important for us to know that. I'm just going to take a couple of photos because he's looking right this way, folks. I'm about 10 feet away from him now. We've repositioned our vehicle, and just a nice angle that we're on here. So I just thought, if you hear this clicking, you know what it is. It's just us taking a couple of nice images, and it's also allows us to get really nice ID pictures of him as well. Now, if he does look around, I want you to have a look at a particular identification mark that I think it was Chris on Twitter pointed out to me the other night. He's got like a pound, like a Great Britain pound sign just above his left eye. That's our interpretation of it, and Chris, thank you very much for that, because it is quite distinctive it just sometimes takes someone to use their imagination and sort of pick something that stands out to them. And it's a really good ID for us. If he looks around, I'll point it out to you. It's just above his eye, his left eye. Now, I've taken a few images of it. I might tweet tonight or put on Facebook or something, but you do need those distinct markings because the scientific way to distinguish the individuals, the leopard individuals, is through the dot pattern on the last row. So what you're looking at now, you can see that last row of whiskers. There's three dots on the top there, on that whisker line, and there'd be another number on the other side. Sometimes you just cannot see those dots, so it's really difficult, but I always try and find just distinct markings. We like the landing strip on his tail, and those little equilateral sort of rectangles that go up at the base of his spinal column on his coat there. And now we've got the pound sign just above his left eye. So he's definitely not moving anywhere very quickly. If anything, he's just trying to cope. He's panting a lot more than one would think. It's not that hot at the moment, but he's just hot from getting up and down the trees all the time and eluding these pesky hyenas. But anyway, we'll stick with him for a bit, and we're going to cross over to Pete and see what Pete's up to. And don't worry, we won't be going anywhere. We'll see you just now.
Brilliant. Thick bush, but we found a little gap here again. They've just walked sort of past us through the thicket coming into this clearing. That's the young one, the male, and that's Shadow. Now, this kill they had was actually, you could almost say, into the area a little bit, or into the sort of territory of Shadow's mum, Karula. It is on the periphery of it, but if I had to say, are we in Shadow's area or in Karula's area at the moment, I would say we are in Karula's. So that would explain why they're covering so much ground. They're heading straight back towards her area again, which is behind the termite mound. the distance. So I think that's what they're doing. They've had a kill, they've had a good feed. Now they are heading back sort of closer to the heart of our own area, which it doesn't have to worry about potentially being in someone else's home, so to speak. I'm going to try and stay with them. There they go. Let's try and get around a little bit. Guys, I'm still in a visual if you want to follow in here. Hold on. Oh, look at that. This is little glimpses of them before they go into the thick stuff again. Business staying with them, but we like tricky business, especially when you have to do it while following leopards. Won't you me complaining? They've given us the best possible tools to do this. Guys, isn't it amazing what we're doing right now? Just think of it quickly. Right at this moment, you are sitting in all different parts of the world, right here with us in the African bush, sharing this amazing experience of a leopard and her cub, and view into their daily lives. I just want to wait for them to move. I've got to go over some dead twigs and stuff here, so I just want them to go away a little bit because I'm going to make a bit of noise. So you try and move in, let's call it in concert with them as well. As long as you're aware of what they're doing, what their objective is. They're not busy hunting at the moment. They're just covering ground to get back into our own area, so like a safe zone, so to speak. So a little bit of noise won't affect them, but whoa, this is about, I think, no, this is as far as we can go. Okay guys, we're going to have to play quick here. I'm going to try and catch them on the other side, but this is now, Andrew, can I swing left in the back? Okay. Yo, this could become very challenging. We are going to try and catch up with him. They are covering ground, and we've got a drainage line and thick stuff between us here. We're going to go around. It's going to be a little bit of tricky driving. I think for now you can have a better time with HD. He's still got another leopard. We asked Paul for choice this morning, and we're going to try our best to catch up. We will see you back here before the end of drive, even if it's just for an update. See you just now.
So he's just looked over his shoulder here. You can see there's something coming through the bush. He's got a much greater sense of hearing than we have. There's two vehicles here with me. There's Ephraim and Texan and their guests. But there's an incredible ability for the leopards to hear over our voices, and we're only talking very softly. You might hear the odd voice in the background. But he's looking down a complete different direction, and it's very interesting to note the senses, these acute senses of the Prince of Stealth. Is really, really apparent when you hear him. He hears something off in the distance, and you just think, what could that be? And sure enough, a hyena will walk through. But we don't know yet. He just had a really quick look around, and we may see a hyena appear at any second. Not really sure, but at the moment he's completely comfortable. He's got a little bit of the remnants of his yesterday's kill up a tree. I would have loved to have been a nocturnal creature last night, sitting in a tree watching what happened up here, because I think it would have been pretty hectic. There would have been that clan of hyena down there. He's just repositioning. And when we were down with them this morning, their bellies are very full, so they've had a good meal. But he's had a good meal as well, so he had a fantastic meal yesterday. There was an interesting bit of behaviour yesterday. He gorged himself probably more than he normally would have, just because he couldn't remove that animal in the size that it was. He couldn't move it to safer ground. Normally hoisting or wedging his kill up in a tree for later, which is that great advantage that the leopard have. He ended up just getting as much into him as he possibly could, because probability said that hyenas were going to be there any second or any minute. And sure enough, last night, I'll take you back later on and show you, not this morning's drive, but another time, and show you the remnants of what's left. There's nothing left at that location where he made that kill. So it's all been removed and consumed. I'm just going to swing up and show you the remnants of that kill in the tree. So that's to put it into perspective. That's where Q is, and VM is just panning around, sorry, and it's a little bit too hard to tell the detail, but you can see there it's a lot more skin than it is meat. There's still a bit of tissue left on the ribs there, and probably more than we can see, but he's definitely got a little meal for later on. I've got a nice question from Judy and Lester. Hello, Judy, and welcome aboard. Great to have you with us this morning. Your question is, how far am I away from Peter at the moment? Probably about a kilometre, probably 1,000 metres north. That's where he is, and we still keep in contact with radio comms with each other, but I'm about probably 1,000 metres from Peter, but I'm about 3 metres from Q. Thanks for your question, Judy. Fantastic to have you on board. So that panting action that you can see him doing there, you see a lot of animals do that when they're really hot. They're trying to cool themselves down. Dogs do it, cats do it, and what he's doing there is just bringing breaths of air over the shade of his tongue and panting, and that's what panting's all about, is cooling the blood down through the tongue. So the air flowing over it, that cool air flowing over the tongue, will keep that body temperature cool and cool him down. He's certainly had a good meal, that's for sure. Georgianne in Illinois, fantastic to have you with us, and thank you so much for your question. You're mentioning that the pound sign, which is a distinguishing feature above his eye. You also think that there's an upside down pyramid below each eye. I'm not sure if it's below or above. I'm just going to try and check it out. He's really not in a fantastic position for us to see that at the moment. Oh, okay. Okay, below each eye, you think, and it's a little bit tricky for us at the moment, but I'll tell you what, we'll definitely have a look when he puts his head up or he sits up, if he gets into a position where another hyena comes up, he'll definitely sit up quite quickly. But we'll definitely check that out. Thank you so much for your knowledge there and giving us that bit of info, because that's the sort of things, those little tiny bits of info help us ID these animals all the time. You don't always see the leopard front on with those whiskers. It's sometimes very difficult. So all these little fantastic interpretations from all of you help us out hugely. Thanks so much. We've got a question from Ellen in Arkansas, and Ellen is asking whether the remnants of the kill in the tree will be eaten by vultures and other birds of prey. Well, there's a potential for it, absolutely, but at the moment there's no way in the world they'd come anywhere near it. One of the funny things is that these animals, I'm just trying to direct another person in. I'm sorry, Ellen, that as I do that, and I don't mean to be rude there, I was just getting asked for a direction. Birds of prey are incredibly skilled at seeing remnants of kills and things like that. But the funny thing is about vultures is they're very skittish. They do not come in boldly at all. It's a very interesting situation. They will hang back until the time is right, and once one flies down, then they all start to fly down. But it's a really interesting thing to watch vultures hang all in the trees for such a long time. I can see some way off in the distance there. We might come across them. Just trying to pick one out in a tree for you now, but I can't see them. That's not going to just look like a little black dot in the horizon. So to answer your question, yes, they possibly will, but they won't at the moment, Ellen, because Q is right on point, and any of them came near it, he'd give them a very, very good fending off. Thanks so much for your question, Ellen. So folks, I think it's been a pretty incredible morning for us. We've had beautiful hyena sighting, the first thing, incredible behaviour, and the whole story unfolded last night. We've tried to put it all together. I'm going across to Pete to say farewell. We've got leopard on both cameras. We've got leopard-tastic morning for you guys with hyena thrown in. We'll come back to you this afternoon. Please join us again for the sunset drive here on Wild Safari Live. We'll see you just now. Over to Pete.
Well, what an exciting morning. It really has been very exciting, and we've got a couple of minutes left, and we might have a last bit of excitement. We followed her after that thick stuff that she went in. We went around, but it's this little sort of drainage line network of bushes and trees and holes and very, very tricky terrain. Perfect leopard terrain. And the best bet actually was to come and sit here. We're on one of the main roads, sort of quite a big gravel road, and using this as a boundary, myself and Andrew will keep a close eye out and see if she crosses. My gut feeling is that she would keep moving. I mean, she could settle down in here as well. This is a perfect place to spend the rest of the day. But, as I said, she's on the periphery of her territory, and I don't think she wants to stay on the edge of it. She wants to move back into her sort of safe zone, into her territory. And that's what my feeling is, that she's going to come out. But if not, we're going to sit here a bit even after the drive, just see if she pops out. And if she doesn't, we'll go back in and have a look, because I would love to see her this afternoon. And I think the only thing I'd like more than that is for HT to see her this afternoon as well. I know that he would enjoy that very much. So, yeah. I think I'm going to say goodbye. Keep a very close eye on the background, because there might be a leopard. Not there might be. There are two leopards there. We might see them. But otherwise, it's been a stunning morning. Leopard everywhere. Very sort of typically Sabi Sands day, and I must say, I don't complain. It is stunning. Thank you very much for joining us here in Africa for the live drive, for the live safari, and we look forward to seeing you this afternoon, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Central African Time. We're going to be out there again. From myself, Peter Pretorius, thanks so much for joining us. It was awesome. Bye-bye.